Happy Valentine's, everyone! With Valentine's Day taking place tomorrow, Chef Alex feels honored to host a special Valentine's recipe throwdown here live on the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. Are you wondering what to cook for your boyfriend or husband or girlfriend or wife? How about for your kids? Wonder no more. Chef Alex is here and he would love to help out. Chef Alex is going to give out Valentine's themed recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even desserts. Recipes will include red velvet waffles, Oreo waffles, eggs benedict, pasta pesto, chicken marsala, red velvet whoopie pies, and more. Do you cooking and baking lovers have a Valentine's recipe you want to share? Post it in the comments for us. Don't miss Chef Alex live on the 10-year YouTube anniversary on nights 1 and 2, where he will get into the kitchen, fire up the ovens and stoves, and make red velvet cheesecake, cannoli cookies, chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting, and beef parmigiana. The Valentine's 2024 recipe throwdown goes live in
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Valentine's 2024 Recipe Throwdown. I'm your host, the one and the only Chef Alex Cardinale, broadcasting live in my kitchen. I have a fun live stream coming at you today here on YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale. You know, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so a happy early Valentine's Day greeting to everyone watching this episode. I hope you all have an amazing Valentine's Day. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering the same thing. What should I cook for my loved one on Valentine's Day? Well, I, Chef Alex Cardinale, am here to help you out. Tonight on the Valentine's 2024 Recipe Throwdown, I have 17 recipes I am going to give you. All these recipes are recipes that I have used. They are very simple to make, and they are very delicious. And I guarantee your loved one, whether it be your boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife, or even your children, they are all going to love the recipes that I have on this show. So, if you're looking to cook for your loved one tomorrow on Valentine's Day, I've got some great breakfast recipes, lunch recipes, dinner recipes, and dessert recipes that are all ideal for Valentine's Day. Some recipes that I'm going to be giving out include red velvet pancakes, Oreo waffles, eggs benedict, pasta pesto, veal parmesan, chicken marsala, red velvet whoopie pies, and more. This is going to be a really fun show. And every holiday, I, Chef Alex, am going to have a recipe throwdown. In Christmas of 2023, I had a Christmas cookie throwdown. And now I am hosting the Valentine's recipe throwdown. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into today's show. I hope you enjoy it. Now, if there's any cooks and bakers and food lovers out there that have any recipes of their own that they would like to share, please go ahead and post any recipes you want to share in the comments. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show started. And we're going to start with the most important meal of the day, breakfast. Let's start with some perfect breakfast recipes for Valentine's Day. So these are great for tomorrow morning. Here are my Valentine's Day breakfast recipes. All right. So my first recipe is for red velvet pancakes and red velvet waffles. If you guys know me, you know that I really love red velvet. So one of my favorite breakfast items is red velvet pancakes and red velvet waffles. Here is my recipe for red velvet pancakes and red velvet waffles. You will need 2 cups of red velvet cake mix, a half cup of all-purpose flour, 1 1/4 cup of milk or water, and 1 egg. That is the batter for your red velvet pancakes or red velvet waffles. Now for your cream cheese syrup, you're going to need 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese softened, a half cup of powdered sugar, and a half tablespoon of milk. That's 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, a half cup of powdered sugar, and a half tablespoon of milk. Now, for pancakes, you're going to use a skillet or a griddle. And for red velvet waffles, you will obviously use a red velvet waffle maker, or a simple waffle maker rather. So for red velvet waffles, you'll just use a waffle maker. So for pancakes, make sure you're heating your skillet or your griddle on medium heat, and make sure you're heating your waffle maker if you're making waffles. To make the batter, in a medium bowl, whisk the milk and egg until well combined. Add the red velvet cake mix and the all-purpose flour at the same time. Beat by hand for 2 to 3 minutes until the batter is fluffy. Brush the griddle or waffle maker with oil or butter or nonstick spray, and pour and pour 1/4 cup of batter onto the skillet or griddle, and spread out with a spoon if the batter is too thick. So in your griddle, just pour 1/4 cup of the batter, or in your waffle maker, pour 1/4 cup of the batter in the waffle maker. Now, if you're making pancakes, cook until the small bubble, about 1 minute or less, begin to form off the pancake. Flip and cook for no more than 1 minute. And in the waffle maker, you want to cook until all the steam escapes. Make sure to leave the heat on medium to low so that your pancakes or waffle don't burn. And keep a close eye on them while cooking. To make your cream cheese syrup, you're going to take your softened cream cheese, put it in the stand mixer. You're going to add your half cup of powdered sugar and your half tablespoon of milk, and whisk or mix until it's fully combined. And you're ready to serve your delicious red velvet pancakes and red velvet waffles. A really delicious recipe. All right, let's get to my second Valentine's Day breakfast recipe. And this is a really delicious recipe for those who love waffles and those who love Oreos like me. This is a Oreo waffle recipe, and it is really, really delicious. So for Oreo waffles, you will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You will need some crushed up Oreos. Now, the recipe calls for 3 cups of crushed up Oreos, but you can use as many or as little Oreos as you like. 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of milk, a half cup of oil, which can be canola or vegetable oil, 2 eggs, and you're going to want the yolks and the whites separated, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you will need some non-stick cooking spray. And you're also going to want some whipped cream for topping your Oreo waffles. In a large bowl, whisk together the flour, Oreos, sugar, baking powder, and salt. In a medium bowl, beat the egg whites with the hand mixer until stiff peaks form. Set aside. In another bowl, mix together the milk, oil, egg yolks, and vanilla extracts. Add the milk mixture to the flour mixture, stirring until just combined. Gently fold in egg whites. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat your waffle iron according to instructions. Spray with cooking spray and add about half cup of the batter. Cook for 5 minutes, remove from waffle iron, and place in oven to keep warm. And repeat with remaining batter. And serve your Oreo waffles with whipped cream and more chopped up Oreos. Really delicious for those who love Oreo cookies and waffles. All right. My next breakfast recipe for you is a classic breakfast brunch that is usually served at restaurants on Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and other occasions. Here is my Eggs Benedict recipe. Now, in case you're wondering what Eggs Benedict is, let me explain it to you. Eggs Benedict is a brunch specialty consisting of hot buttered English muffins, Canadian-style bacon, and poached eggs topped with a rich homemade hollandaise sauce. It is wonderful for Easter, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, or anytime you want to treat yourself or your loved ones to the best brunch in the world. So, here's my recipe for Eggs Benedict, and here is my hollandaise sauce. 4 egg yolks, 1 to 3.5 tablespoons of lemon juice to suit your taste, 1 tablespoon of water, 1/8 of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, a pinch of ground white pepper, 1 cup of butter melted, 1 teaspoon of hot water or more as needed, 1/4 teaspoon of salt or to taste, and that is for the hollandaise sauce. Now here's the ingredients for Eggs Benedict. 1 teaspoon of distilled white vinegar, 8 eggs, 8 strips of Canadian-style bacon, 4 English muffins split, 2 tablespoons of butter softened. And those are your ingredients for Eggs Benedict. Directions to make the hollandaise sauce. Whisk egg yolks, lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of water, Worcestershire sauce, and white pepper in the top of a double boiler over simmering water. Add melted butter, 1 or 2 tablespoons at a time, while whisking yolks constantly. If hollandaise begins to get too thick, add a teaspoon or 2 of hot water. Continue whisking until all of the butter is incorporated. Whisk in salt, then remove from heat. Place a lid on the pan to keep your sauce warm. To poach the eggs, fill a large saucepan with 2 to 3 inches of water and bring to a boil. Reduce heat to a medium-low, pour in vinegar, and keep water at a gentle simmer. Crack an egg into a small bowl, then gently slip egg into simmering water, holding the bowl just above the surface of the water. Repeat with the remaining eggs. Cook eggs until whites are firm and yolks have thickened but are not hard. 2.5 to 3 minutes. Remove eggs from water with a slotted spoon. Dab on a kitchen towel to remove excess water and place onto a warm plate. Meanwhile, set an oven rack about 6 inches from the heat source and preheat the oven's broiler. Brown bacon in a medium skillet over medium-high heat. Toast your English muffins either in the toaster or on a baking sheet under the preheated broiler. To serve Eggs Benedict, spread toasted muffins with softened butter and top each one with a slice of bacon, followed by 1 poached egg. Place 2 muffins on each plate and drizzle with hollandaise sauce. Sprinkle with chopped chives and serve immediately. And that is a delicious Eggs Benedict recipe. I'm going to stand up for a little while because my back is hurting in this chair. So let's move this out of the way. And we'll stand for a few minutes here. All right. And now I have one final breakfast recipe for you. And it is Bananas Foster French toast. And this is a really delicious recipe. So Bananas Foster French toast starts off with some eggs. So you're going to take 6 eggs, crack them into a large bowl. You're going to add a tablespoon of ground cinnamon to that. You're going to add a tablespoon of granulated sugar to that and a half cup of milk or cream and whisk that together. Then you're going to take a couple of bananas and chop them into slices. You're also going to need 1 stick of butter and a half cup of brown sugar. And you could use a tablespoon of brandy or rum if you want, but you could also leave alcohol out of this if you don't want any alcohol in your recipe for breakfast. So preheat your griddle. Then you're going to dip each slice of bread into the egg mixture until it is fully submerged and fully moistened with the eggs. Then you're going to cook them on the griddle 2 to 3 minutes per side until they're golden brown. Remove from the heat and put on a hot cookie tray. Then you're going to make your Bananas Foster. So use a saute pan, melt your butter, add your brown sugar, then add in your bananas and saute for 2 or 3 minutes. Add your alcohol and let the alcohol cook off for a few minutes. And you've got delicious Bananas Foster, which is perfect on Valentine's Day. You cannot go wrong with this delicious Bananas Foster recipe. All right, those are the delicious Valentine's Day breakfast recipes that I've got for you. I hope you try those amazing recipes. So let's move from Valentine's breakfast all the way to Valentine's lunch. I have a couple of delicious Valentine's lunch recipes for you. So one simple lunch idea is a sandwich. Now, lunch is kind of like dinner, but they're smaller portions for lunch. So my first Valentine's lunch recipe is a tuna Supermelt. I love tuna sandwiches, and I know there's a lot of people out there that they themselves enjoy tuna sandwiches. So for a tuna Supermelt, you're going to need some nice brioche bread, nice 6-sliced brioche. You're going to take a can of tuna. You're going to drain it. You're going to put that in a bowl. You're going to add some salt and pepper to it to flavor it. You're also going to add mayonnaise, your favorite vegetables, if you like. Take your brioche, add a slice of your favorite cheese, and for me, it's provolone. So I will throw on a slice of provolone. Then I will put some of that tuna on there, put another piece of brioche bread on top of the sandwich, and take some melted butter and scrub it on both sides of the sandwich. Put that on a griddle 2 or 3 minutes per side and flip. And there's your delicious tuna Supermelt, which is perfect for Valentine's Day. Now, another quick, easy, delicious Valentine's lunch is homemade calzones. And I've made homemade calzones here on YouTube with a friend, and I will show you how to do them again in the future. But for homemade calzones, all you really need is pizza dough, which you can purchase from Publix or a local grocery store in your area. All grocery stores sell pizza dough in their bakery. So you'll need pizza dough. You will need some mozzarella cheese. You will also need some ricotta cheese and your favorite toppings. Now, in a calzone, you could do pepperoni. You can do crispy chicken cutlets sliced thinly. You can do grilled chicken. You can even do steak that is sliced thinly. So there's a wide variety of calzones you can make. You can make a chicken parm calzone with chicken cutlets, tomato sauce, and mozzarella cheese. You can make a Philly steak and cheese calzone. You can make a barbecue chicken calzone. So calzones are really versatile, really simple to make. Here's how to do it. Roll out your pizza dough until it's nice and thin. Then you're going to take your toppings, put it into the pizza dough, which is either chicken or whatever toppings you're using, plus your mozzarella cheese and a little bit of ricotta cheese. I don't like to add too much ricotta cheese to my calzones. You're going to fold it up, and you're going to take a fork and put some indents into the calzone along the side. Preheat your oven to 375 and cook your calzone for about a half hour or so, and you've got a delicious calzone, which is perfect for Valentine's Day. All right. Now, one of my favorite pasta dishes for lunch is really simple, and it is a pesto. I love pesto. Pesto is really easy to make. It is really delicious also. So to make this delicious pesto, you're going to need either a mixer or one of those old school things. I forgot the name of it. So in your mixer, you're going to put some fresh basil. You're going to put 2 or 3 garlic cloves. You're going to put some pine nuts. And you're also going to put some good quality Parmesan Romano cheese and a good quality expensive olive oil. Use the best olive oil you can for your homemade pesto, and you will have great results. Combine all those ingredients in a mixer or a blender and blend until well combined and you have a sauce. Now, you can add grilled chicken, you can add sun-dried tomatoes, you can add shrimp, you can add steak, you can add whatever protein you want to this dish. But I find when you're adding protein, it makes it more of a dinner. And remember, lunch is a small dinner. Lunch has smaller portions. So for me, a perfect lunch would be just a regular pesto sauce over some freshly cooked pasta. And a good pasta to go with pesto is either rigatoni, ziti, or penne. So I hope you enjoy that recipe. Now, my final Valentine's lunch recipe is another pasta recipe, and this one is spaghetti carbonara. It is like a brunch recipe, which is perfect for Valentine's Day. So here is my spaghetti carbonara recipe. You will need 8 ounces, which is 1 pound of, you will need 16 ounces, which is 1 pound of spaghetti. So 16 ounces of dried spaghetti. You will need 2 or 3 eggs that are whisked and seasoned with salt and pepper. You will need some Parmesan cheese. And again, you want to use the good quality Parmesan cheese. You could use prosciutto, but prosciutto is very expensive in today's economy. So there's no shame in using American bacon. American bacon has similar qualities to prosciutto, except it is less fatty than prosciutto and less cheaper than prosciutto. So I have used American bacon and I have used prosciutto as well. So you could use whatever one is more affordable for you. But if you want to splurge and you want to spend a lot of money and have a quality dish, then by all means you could use prosciutto. Also, you can add vegetables to this dish if you want, broccoli, carrots, whatever. But I like to keep mine traditional. So we're going to cook our spaghetti until it's al dente, about 8 to 9 minutes. You're going to drain that. And we're going to take a skillet. We're going to add some olive oil, and we're going to saute our bacon or our prosciutto for about 8 minutes. Then you're going to add some garlic. And once that's done, take your spaghetti and put it in the saute pan with the prosciutto or bacon and garlic. And then you're going to add in your Parmesan cheese and your egg mixture. And working quickly, you're going to stir all together. The heat from the pasta is what's going to cook your sauce. So in total, it'll take about 1.5 minutes and remove from the heat. You don't want to cook it too long, otherwise they're going to have spaghetti scrambled eggs, and we don't want that. And that is a really delicious spaghetti carbonara. Really, really amazing. And that is a delicious spaghetti carbonara, which is perfect for a Valentine's lunch. All right. So now we're going to move forward to tomorrow evening, and that's going to be Valentine's Day dinner. I've got some great Valentine's Day dinner recipes that I'm going to share with you right here, right now on the Valentine's 2024 Recipe Throwdown. So, my first dinner recipe is one of my all-time favorite Italian dishes. You'll find this dish at Olive Garden. You'll find this dish at Carrabba's and basically any pizzeria and Italian restaurant. It is made from Marsala, Italy, and it is made from Marsala wine. It is really good. And what better way to show your loved one that you love them than by cooking a sweet dish from southern Italy using Marsala wine. And you could also, instead of chicken, you could use veal, pork, or other types of protein as well. But chicken is really simple and really affordable. So you're going to take some chicken cutlets. You're going to dredge them in flour and set aside. You're going to cut one scallion into 1-inch pieces. You're going to cut a yellow onion into 1-inch pieces. You're going to use some fresh portobello mushrooms as well as a can of canned mushrooms. And you're going to need 2 cups of Marsala wine, 1 cup of chicken broth or chicken stock, and you will also need 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. So heat a skillet with some olive oil, and we are going to saute our dredged chicken, which has been dredged in flour. We're going to saute that for 3 minutes per side. And don't worry if the chicken is not fully cooked. We'll finish cooking it in the sauce. Remove from the pan, add your vegetables, and saute for 10 minutes. Then take 2 tablespoons of flour, add that to your vegetables. That's going to create a roux, which is going to thicken our sauce. Then you're going to add in your Marsala wine and your chicken broth or stock and let that thicken up, let that cook. When you have a nice thick sauce, return your chicken to the pan, add your heavy cream, and let that simmer for 2 minutes. Then if you want, you can add in fresh herbs like parsley, thyme, oregano. They will add some great flavor. And you can serve your chicken Marsala with pasta, rice, mashed potatoes, whatever's your fantasy, you could serve it with. And I think your loved one is really going to appreciate chicken Marsala. Now, if you're a seafood lover like me, then you're going to appreciate this recipe, Salmon Piccatta. I love salmon, and if your other half loves salmon as well, they're going to love this recipe. So you're going to need some salmon fillets. So go to your grocery store and pick up some fresh salmon fillets. You will need 1 lemon. You will need a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. You will need 2 cups of white wine. You will need some capers, and the capers are optional. If you don't like capers, or if capers are too expensive for you, you don't have to use capers. And you will also need some either vegetable stock, chicken stock, or if you can find it, fish stock. You'll need about a 1/2 cup of the stock. So we're going to start off by heating a skillet with a little bit of olive oil. Then we are going to take our salmon fillets and we're going to dredge them in seasoned flour on both sides. Then you're going to take your salmon fillets that have been dredged in flour and you're going to take them to the skillet and saute them 4 minutes per side. Remove from your skillet, and using all the drippings, you're going to add your white wine, your lemon juice, and your vegetable stock or seafood stock or chicken stock. And you're also going to add capers. And you're going to reduce that until it thickens and you've got a nice sauce. Return your salmon to the pan and let that cook for about 5 minutes so it'll finish cooking. And you've got a delicious, easy, simple salmon piccata recipe. Now, you can serve your salmon piccata with pasta, rice, steamed vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, or even mashed potatoes. It is really up to you. It is a delicious salmon piccata recipe. You cannot go wrong with it. Now, if you want a delicious pasta dish this Valentine's Day, you can't go wrong with a ziti al forno. Now, ziti al forno is simply Italian for baked ziti. So here is my delicious baked ziti recipe. And let me actually go and show you the type of ziti that I use for my baked ziti first. All right, so the favorite type of ziti that I use for baked ziti or pasta al forno is actually called rigatoni. It is a tubular shaped pasta that has waves. So it's like a wavy type of tubular pasta. Rigatoni is my favorite type of pasta to use for a baked ziti. So you'll need 2 pounds of either rigatoni, ziti, or penne. You will need your favorite type of marinara sauce. You can make your own, or you could use a canned marinara sauce. Sometimes I use canned sauce. My all-time favorite is Borelli or ragu. They are very good. You will need some ground beef and some ground Italian sausage. If you're a vegetarian, you can leave out the meat. You will need a half cup of ricotta, and you will also need some shredded mozzarella cheese. Very simple recipe. I also use about I use some fresh parsley. I forgot the word for it. It's like a very small amount. Uh, I diced that really well, and I also use some fresh basil. But you don't have to use the herbs if you're not a big fan of using herbs. So preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to brown your ground beef and your Italian sausage until it is fully cooked. Then you're going to add your marinara sauce to that, creating a meat sauce. Then you're going to cook your pasta until it's al dente, about 8 to 9 minutes. Then take a large aluminum baking pan and pour in your pasta. Mix the pasta with the meat sauce. And you're going to take your half cup of ricotta and mix that in with the meat sauce and ziti until it is well combined. And then you can take your shredded mozzarella and mix that in with the pasta and also put some on top. Cover the pasta with foil and cook in a 400-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, and you've got a delicious baked ziti. Now, the best thing about baked ziti, especially in Italy, is you can add whatever protein and whatever vegetables you want to it. You can add chicken, you can add mushrooms, onions, you can add broccoli, whatever your heart desires, you can add. And I've known some Italians even add hard-boiled eggs to it, but not me. I find that to be disgusting. So add whatever you want to your baked ziti recipe. All right. So our next dinner recipe is another Italian recipe, and it's another Italian classic that a lot of couples love. You know, usually we talk about chicken parmesan, and chicken parmesan is an American classic. But you can make parmesan with different types of protein. You can use cube steak, which we're going to do on my 10-year YouTube anniversary. You could use veal. You could use eggplant. You could even use pork tenderloin. But I think Valentine's Day is such a special occasion that we should go all out. And now I present to you my delicious veal parmesan recipe. And I know veal is a very controversial recipe. I know that. I understand it. A lot of people are against young cows being killed, but hey, older cows get killed too for beef. That's my stance on it. So here is my recipe for veal parmesan. You will need some fresh, thin, pounded veal cutlets. You will need some eggs. Crack and whisk eggs with salt and pepper. You will need some breadcrumbs and some seasoned flour that has been mixed with salt and pepper. You will need your favorite marinara sauce. And again, you can use a homemade sauce or a canned sauce, whatever's easier for you. And you will need some fresh mozzarella and provolone. With my Parmesan, I add two types of cheeses. I add mozzarella and provolone because I like the smoky flavor that provolone provides. And it adds a nice smokiness to your Parmesan. And I also sprinkle fresh Parmesan on top. Anywho, you're going to get a nice skillet, nice and warm, with about a cup of olive oil or canola oil. You're going to bread your veal cutlets first in the egg, then into the seasoned flour, back into the egg, and finally finishing in the breadcrumbs until all your veal cutlets are dredged. Now, you can actually put these veal cutlets in the refrigerator until you finish breading all of them. When you put them in the fridge, that's going to make sure your breading adheres to the piece of protein. I learned that in culinary school. You don't have to do that, but that's just the added security to make sure that your breading sticks. Once your pan is nice and hot, you're going to saute each cutlet for 3 or 4 minutes per side. Then put it in a casserole dish and top with your desired amount of sauce. Put some cheese on top of that and into a 375-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. And bada boom, your veal Parmesan is done. Manja, everyone, manja. Especially on a good quality dish like veal Parmesan, it is perfect for Valentine's Day. Really, really good. And of course, there's no better way to serve veal parm other than with a delicious Caesar salad and a delicious pasta. And a baked ziti would be a perfect accommodation to go with a veal Parmesan. All right. So the next recipe I have for you isn't really a recipe. It's more of a restaurant suggestion. You know, when you go out to eat on Valentine's Day, which is another option for couples, if they don't want to go through all the cooking and all the hassle of cooking and doing dishes, they generally go out to eat. But at restaurants, one of the most popular things restaurants offer on Valentine's Day is what's called in the culinary industry surf and turf. So basically, surf and turf is you have one protein from land and one protein from sea. Generally, it's a piece of beef, whether it's ribeye, porterhouse, New York strip, or filet, or sirloin. And the seafood can be lobster, it could be shrimp, it could be oysters or scallops. But if there's people that have shellfish allergies, it could be a piece of salmon or a piece of tilapia, a piece of haddock, or a piece of cod. So basically, surf and turf is a protein from land and a protein from sea. So my ideal surf and turf would be 8 ounces of a delicious medium rare ribeye steak and a piece of salmon. Beautiful. It would go really well together and be really delicious. So for my surf, which would be the water, I would use salmon or cod. And you will put a little bit of salt and pepper on it, because really the idea behind surf and turf is you want to taste the actual protein. So very little seasoning. All you need is a little bit of salt and pepper, and you will saute your piece of fish. For the steak, you could use the Montreal steak seasoning on the ribeye. I like that. And cook your ribeye medium rare. So surf and turf goes great with steamed broccoli, mashed potatoes, or a baked potato, and a side salad. So that's a great surf and turf recipe for you this Valentine's Day. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. And during this break, we're going to hear about a couple of special upcoming episodes here on the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. Of course, we have the 10-year YouTube anniversary coming up, but we also have a special episode of Saturday Live coming up this Saturday. So we're gonna hand the show over to the studio real quickly to play these few infomercials. And when I come back, I have final recipes for you. It'll be time for Valentine's Day dessert. We're back with more right after this, folks. Don't go anywhere.
On the next episode of Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale Live, Saturday, February 17th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Come join Alex for another action-packed Saturday Live as we continue on the road to our historic 10-year anniversary on YouTube, beginning on the next Saturday Live and continuing until Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, to get us ready for the 10-year YouTube anniversary. I will be replaying special guest interviews or videos that I've done over the last 10 years. What special guest or video will be played on the next episode of Saturday Live? Also starting this Saturday and continuing every week, Sergeant Slaughter will have 2 sets of facts. This Saturday, Sergeant Slaughter will have facts on a South Florida local donut shop known as Jupiter Donuts, and he will also have facts on Starbucks. The animal of the week is the gorgeous black and white panda. Oasis Aquatics featured fish is the true parrot cichlid. Aquascape Online featured fish will be the Manueli piranha, and Aqua Alex's featured fish will be the L128 Blue Phantom Pleco. Plus, Alex discusses how to make money working from home, and how to deal with online hate, Karens of the week, funny videos and so much more. Live this Saturday, February 17th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale.
It all begins again. You are invited to celebrate 10 years of Alex Cardinale on YouTube. Alex Cardinale created this YouTube channel on March 6, 2014. At the very beginning, this channel was dedicated to tropical fish and aquariums. As the years progressed, this channel has incorporated WWE, cooking and baking, crime discussion, and even a Saturday talk show. Now, 10 years later, I am growing bigger and better on YouTube. I now have well over 1,000 videos, well over 16,000 subscribers, and well over 200 million views. For 10 years straight, I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into this YouTube channel. Through the good and the bad, one thing has always remained true. Alex Cardinale will always be on YouTube. No one or nothing can stop me from creating my quality content, and no one can stop all my success. From 2014 to 2024, I've persevered through the hard times and celebrated all the good times. I'm very thankful for my loyal audience. Now on March 6th and March 7th, 2024, it all begins again. It's a new beginning. Let's celebrate a decade of dominance, a decade of perseverance, a decade of the unexpected, a decade of greatness, and of course a decade of being legendary. The 10-year YouTube anniversary will be a 2-night extravaganza beginning Wednesday, March 6, 2024, and concluding at the end of the show on Thursday, March 7, 2024. Both shows will begin promptly at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and will air live on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. It will be a stupendous event, and you are all invited to be there. The 10-year YouTube anniversary extravaganza begins Wednesday, March 6, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Night 1 of the 10-year YouTube anniversary has a stupendous lineup. There will be a very special, mystery surprise guest who will be revealed during the show. Loyal viewer and personal friend Jeremy Stelhern will be another guest joining the fun. Chef Alex is celebrating a decade of being on YouTube in style. Chef Alex will whip out the KitchenAid stand mixer and preheat the oven, because he will be making cannoli sandwich cookies and red velvet cheesecake. Aqua Alex will also be in attendance, and he will discuss something fishy and may even get new fish and have a surprise in store for the audience. Alex will have a surprise vlog-style video at a cool location. It could be a zoo, it could be an amusement park, it could be a casino. It will be revealed during the show. Surprise appearances. Who will make an appearance this year? Detective Alex will discuss the Springfield, Massachusetts strangler Alfred Gaynor. All that and more. Live Wednesday, March 6, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. The stupendous 10-year anniversary party continues on Night 2, live Thursday, March 7, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. Another stupendous lineup in store to conclude the 10-year anniversary. Aquatic Wetline supporter and Oasis Aquatics owner Tom McGuire will be one of our special guests. What will he discuss? Will he bring a special fish keeping gift for all the fish keepers watching? Hint, there may be an Oasis Aquatics discount. Business mentor, podcaster, and personal friend Catherine Jones will be another guest to join the party. Catherine has known Alex since 2013 and has been with him throughout this incredible journey. Aqua Alex will do an Oasis Aquatics unboxing and have some other fish surprises. Chef Alex celebrates 10 years in style once again by showing you how to make a cheap man's version of Veal Parmigiana using beef. Chef Alex will also show you how to make a chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. There will be another surprise vlog at a surprise mystery location. Who will make special appearances? Will it be a legend like Mick Foley or Kurt Angle from years past? Detective Alex Cardinale will discuss a shooting that happened at a Lake Worth, Florida high school. All that and more, live Thursday, March 7th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. Be part of history and have fun.
Welcome back to the Valentine's 2024 Recipe Throwdown, hosted by me, yours truly, Chef Alex Cardinale. And before our intermission, I gave out some Valentine's Day breakfast, lunch, and dinner recipes. Well, now it's time to conclude the show with what, in my eyes, are the best recipes, because I am a huge sweet tooth lover. Now it's time for me to give out my Valentine's Day dessert recipes. And these are recipes you can make tonight or early tomorrow morning for you and your loved ones to have a delicious Valentine's Day dessert. So let's get to our first Valentine's Day dessert recipe, which is going to be a delicious red velvet poke cake. And you guys know me, I love anything red velvet. Red velvet is really delicious. So this red velvet poke cake actually has some sweetened condensed milk and a Cool Whip mixture inside of it, and it is topped with delicious homemade cream cheese icing. So for the red velvet poke cake, you will need 1 box of Duncan Hines red velvet cake mix. And I recommend Duncan Hines red velvet cake mix because, in my opinion, it is my favorite, and it is the best red velvet cake mix you can find out there in my eyes. You will also need 1 can of sweetened condensed milk and 8 ounces of Cool Whip. So you're going to prepare your red velvet cake as package directions imply. Bake it as long as package directions apply. Obviously, you're going to bake it in a rectangular pan, hopefully a 13 by 9 pan. Once your cake comes out of the oven, you're going to take the back of a wooden spoon and poke some holes into the cake. Then you're going to take your sweetened condensed milk, open up the can, put it in a bowl, and combine it with Cool Whip and whisk it until it's well together. And you're going to pour that all over the cake and into the holes so that it seeps into the cake. Take some foil, cover the cake, and put it in the fridge. And let the cake cool, and let the sweetened condensed milk do its thing and flavor your delicious red velvet cake. In the meantime, we are going to make our delicious cream cheese icing. So you will need 8 ounces of cream cheese. You will need 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of milk, and some vanilla extract. Combine all the ingredients together in a stand mixer and mix until well combined. Once your cake is cool, take it out of the fridge and frost it. And trust me, you will have a delicious red velvet poke cake, and you'll love it. Now, if you're like my mom and I, and you go to Walmart and you go into the seasonal bacon aisle, and they have Valentine sprinkles, like this one here, then you can actually decorate the top of your red velvet poke cake with these said sprinkles. All right, my next recipe is another red velvet dessert recipe, and it's what I'll be making tomorrow for Valentine's Day. I am making for Valentine's Day tomorrow red velvet whoopie pies. So to fill these red velvet whoopie pies, just use the same cream cheese icing that I gave you. To make the cookies themselves, here is the red velvet whoopie pie recipe. You'll need 1 box of red velvet cake mix, a half cup of water, a half cup of vegetable oil, 3 large eggs, and 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Preheat your oven to 350. Line 2 or 3 cookie trays with parchment paper and set aside. Combine the first 5 ingredients in a large bowl. Whisk together until the batter is smooth. And drop by heaping tablespoons full onto your prepared sheets, leaving at least a 2-inch space between each cake. And make sure you're using a parchment-lined pan. And bake 10 to 12 minutes and allow it to cool completely. And frost, take a sandwich and fill one end and top, and you've got a delicious red velvet whoopie pie. Really, really delicious. You cannot go wrong with this. All right. Who loves Oreo and who loves cake? Well, I got a delicious cookies and cream cake for you. Take your favorite, whether it's vanilla or chocolate cake mix, and bake it. Bake it either way you want it. Whether you want a round layer cake or a rectangular cake, doesn't matter. Just bake your favorite chocolate or vanilla cake. We are now going to make our frosting, which is a really delicious Oreo cookies and cream frosting. So here is my delicious Oreo cookies and cream frosting recipe. Let me get it for you. So you're going to need 10 Oreo cookies. You're going to need 1 cup of salted butter at room temperature, 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. In a food processor or blender, pulverize your Oreos into a powder and set aside. Mix your butter together with your powdered sugar a half cup at a time until all blended. Add your vanilla and heavy cream and mix well. Add your crushed Oreos and blend well. If mixture is too thick, add additional teaspoon of heavy cream, one at a time until desired thickness is achieved. Then frost your cooled cake with this Oreo frosting and add some more Oreos to the top of the cake for garnish and to enjoy a nice Oreo after you eat the cake. Really, really delicious. All right, one final dessert recipe, and this is my all-time favorite cookie recipe to make on Valentine's Day. I'm actually going to be making a batch of these cookies right after this show because my mom is going to be giving out some cookies at her job for her friends, and I have to make some for her. So my favorite Valentine's cookie recipe is the traditional M&M cookie, and I use Valentine's M&Ms, which is perfect for this time of year. So you could use the Cupid's Blend M&Ms for these delicious M&M cookies. So my M&M cookie recipe has, and I have it written right here, it has 1 cup of shortening, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And of course, our star ingredient, which is the Cupid's Choice Valentine's M&Ms themselves. So we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to cream the shortening, brown sugar, white sugar, eggs, and vanilla in a stand mixer until light and fluffy. Then you're going to add your dry ingredients, which would be the flour, baking soda, and salt. And you're going to use a cookie scoop and scoop the dough onto a parchment-lined cookie sheet. And you're going to bake these delicious M&M cookies in a 350-degree oven for about 11 or 12 minutes until they're nice, light gold brown. And there is your delicious M&M cookie recipe. So definitely pick up some M&M's, Cupid Choice M&M's, and make some great M&M cookies this Valentine's Day. Right after I get off air here, I had to make some M&M cookies, so I can't wait to bake up a storm here in the kitchen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It has been an awesome show. And we have an amazing live viewer in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. All right, and that is the 2024 Valentine's Recipe Throwdown, hosted by yours truly, Chef Alex Cardinale. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to today's episode. Don't forget, I, Chef Alex Cardinale, will be live on the 10-year YouTube anniversary on March 6th and March 7th. Happy Valentine's Day, and thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody.
The real Alex Cardinale would like to thank you for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. Please take a moment to hit the like button. Please hit the share button and share today's video on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more. If you are not yet subscribed, I highly recommend subscribing to my channel. Simply hit the subscribe button and then ding the notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live next or upload a new video. Please like our Facebook page, The Real Alex Cardinale, for exclusive news and updates on live streams and exciting videos. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.